Hello everyone, Kristina here. Welcome to another live stream. So at first, in fact, I updated the supply list saying that I was going to be using my long line leaves bundle, but then I realized I have a video I filmed for that I'll be sharing probably next week. So maybe we switch it up and we use something different. So if any of you have any suggestions or requests from my latest release, let me see if I can, we'll decide that in just a moment here. Before we get too far into this, I want to let you guys know there is a new class at onlinecardclasses.com that we just announced last week on Friday, actually. The class is called Celebrate. I'll be teaching along with 4 other amazing instructors that you've seen in the past. And this class is structured exactly like So Very Merry was. So our holiday class called So Very Merry was last November. It was super popular. People loved it. We're so excited that so many of you loved it. And the way that was structured was that the teachers all used a specific set of products designed specifically for the class. And you could either purchase those items and play along exactly with what we were creating, or you could substitute the products with things you have in your stash. It's completely up to you. You do your own thing. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure. So there is a class kit associated with the class itself. All right, so the class Celebrate. If you have any questions about the class, I encourage you to watch my live stream that I did with Kathy Zilski and Jennifer McGuire last Friday. We answered a lot of your questions and kind of went over the class kind of topics. Okay, so like I said, I was going to use my long line leaves bundle that came out in April, but then I realized I have another video coming out sometime soon with that exact bundle. So maybe we should use something else. So here's another die set. I thought this one would be kind of fun and cool. It's the Loved and Happy dies. I was thinking it would be interesting to do almost like one of those hidden kind of greetings where you have like a really colorful background and then you cut out the greeting out of the background and then pop it up. I think that could be really interesting. And I think we're just going to do these and do like a really colorful background, maybe with inks or something. I think that could be really fun. An Eclipse greeting. Yes, thank you. That's what it's called. I'm like a hidden greeting. What is this called? Since we're going to be doing inking and then also sort of doing a little watercolor with it, why don't we use distress inks? They're oxides, but these are all of my like different like Kristina's blends or whatever. Well, if it's not the exact, but this Chip Sapphire Seedless Preserved Saltwater Taffy. That's fun. Okay, I'm going to grab Bristol paper because Bristol paper can handle water as well, but it's also smooth thing here. Okay, I can use my regular blending brushes that I use for everything else because distress inks are dye inks, so I don't need to use any special ink. So I've got all of my little ink blending brushes here. These happen to be from Seedless Stamp. All right, so I'm just gonna, you know what? And this is probably gonna bug me because I want to just like go in there and put a ton of color down. I'm just going for it. Okay, this is not ink blended. This is, I can tell this ink pad is, you know, a few years old. It's never been opened, right? Okay, but the thing that's cool about Bristol paper is that a lot of times after you put the ink down, it doesn't soak in right away and you can come back and blend more. Like, see how I'm able to just soften out that a little bit? I think it's so interesting. All right, coming in with Seedless Preserves. Let's see, how inky is this one going to be? This one's going to be nice. We're just going for it. Purple. Yeah, see how that just kind of starts spreading? You're still going to get like the really harsh lines from the edge of the ink pad, but why not? Okay. All right, and then chip Sapphire. Trying to not get like ink all over my hands, but my uninked hands might not survive. Okay. Carol's asking, for the OCC Celebrate class, can we use the 2025 colors from C9? You can, in the color combos that we've chosen. The first one, I think, in the jewels has plumberry and pimento in it, I believe. So those are 2 new colors. Okay, so this is, you know, I got a little bit of ink on my hands, just a little. Switch to watercoloring this. And I'll just be up here in the corner. Hello, everyone. Okay, I'm going to grab a nice big brush. This is a size 14. Just a Royal and Langnickel brush. I'm just going to see like, ooh, look. Everything just starts moving. This is kind of fun. I'm just going to get all these fun textures. That's kind of cool. I like that. You know, I went to a Dead & Company concert this weekend. So much tie-dye. It was very psychedelic. This is giving me those vibes. Okay, I'm going to dry this, and then we're going to see if we want to add like actual like more ink or something. That looks really cool. It does kind of have a marbling effect, doesn't it? All right, I'm just pressing down these edges again because I kind of popped up. Okay, look how much ink came up with that. All right, I'm trying to decide if I want to do any, like, I feel like this is a lot of Seedless preserves right here. So maybe I'll grab a little bit of Saltwater Taffy and just break that up a little bit. I do not need very much at all. So get my brush. And we'll just break that up just a little bit. I don't even know if that'll break it up that much. Maybe I should have done the chip Sapphire. But I do like the intensity of that color. I'm going to get a little bit more of that. Okay. I like that intense color. Maybe I'll do like, I'll keep it like really intense color and do like a splatter. I think that could look really cool. Actually, I think I want to do a little bit of this just like up in that top corner. I love how this is looking. Of course, it won't dry like that, but I just feel like we lost a lot of the Saltwater Taffy because it was just such a light application, you know? Let's try this and see where we're at. Okay. Now let's do some water droplets. Yeah, the sound should be back now. It's probably out of sync from my mouth too. So that's fun. Okay. All right. Here we go. We're going to do spray to my hand, and then we're just going to, I'll just do some water droplets. I got to be careful because my ring wants to slide off my hand. Okay, we're going to let this sit for a minute because I really feel like if you let the water sit on the distress ink a little bit longer, or even if you give it like a little tip back and forth so you can kind of see the water, like watch this little puddle right here. You can see the water moving. I think it like picks up a little bit more color. Okay. Let's see this. this is going to be good. I can already tell. Yeah. It looks really psychedelic, right? Like an underwater scene would look really cool, like with different colors. That is what I love about distress inks. It's just magical. Like you can get a somewhat similar effect with just regular watercolor paints, but it's not the same as distress. Like, come on. Okay, I think that's dry. Okay, the edges of this are still really wet, so I think I'm gonna have to hit it with my heat tool because it was just wet underneath the tape, you know? Jennifer, still smelling patchouli and old incense. The devil's lettuce, you mean? From going to Dead & Company? No, I don't sell it anymore, but it was a wild time. Okay, so now I have some decisions to make. Am I going to do the Eclipse die cut? I don't know. Well, we're going to make this a 5x7 card, so let's cut it down first. All right, so this is my Kristina's Essential Dies, and there is a 5x7. So let's see. Do we want 5x7 to preserve as much of this background as possible? And I think about like that looks great. Here we are. Oh, beautiful. What if we did that same Eclipse thing, but we do a thin frame on the inside as well? So a thin frame and the grading. I think that could look really, really cool. So this is the A7 thin frames. So what if we had a thin frame cutout and then we'll do one of these. It would just be like that thinking of you right there in the center. What are we thinking? I think that looks really cool, especially for such a large card to have a smaller greeting like that. You need it to kind of take up other things to take up space. You know what I'm saying? So let's get this centered first. Okay. I've got to make sure I keep all my pieces. So let's hope this works. Okay. I don't want to lose any piece here, so I'm going to get a little cup here ready, standing by. Okay, so there's the outer. All right, and then we've got this frame, and then this is where I want to keep everything intact as much as possible. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. All right, down some foam for us to use. All right, and then in fact, maybe we'll have it cut into my regular cutting plate. And it doesn't matter on where it's located. We just need it like that. Okay. Okay. Kind of wish the foam was a little bit sturdier. I'm being very gentle with it as I pull it out of this die. Okay. Because we're going to need to get that glued in just perfectly. I guess I could also glue it, but this tape runner adhesive is so sticky. I always have great results with it. Okay. And I got to figure out which direction this was. That looks like that works. All right. I'm going to use my honeybee glue. Zoom in on this here. Okay, and then Just have to get the foam in there. This is what I was afraid of, the foam stretched a little bit. Okay, fun foam is applied. Yeah, the foam's going to be tricky for sure. Okay, so then this has to go right inside. And I think that'll be fine. Okay. I'm going to do I want to do glue? I don't think I do. No, I need the slip to make it work. Okay, so just glue. Just slide that in under the foam. I could like peel back the foam a little bit to allow the paper to go underneath. And then I think I'm gonna glue the fun foam for the words. I'm gonna glue that first. Like the actual colorful thing, I'm gonna glue it on top first. Being very gentle as I handle this. I don't want it to stretch too much. But I think I'll apply the glue to the colorful words, just the underside. And then I can put this over the top and wiggle it in place. That's not so bad. It's not as difficult as I thought it would be. It's actually working out really well. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. We do need a little bit of a hint since it's an Eclipse die cut. So put that down right there. This is looking really good. Okay, is it this? Yes, that's right there. Perfect. Put this down, and then I can do the glue. I'm going to put it on the foam here. We'll put this right on top. Is that right? Yeah, I think it is. It just looks so different. I didn't put the center lined up right. Y'all guys, seriously? It needed to be swapped. But you know what? It goes for the card. Whatever. It's not a perfect lineup. It's okay. Actually, it's lined up to the center, the frame is, but it's not to the outside frame. I failed, y'all. I failed. You know, it's hard to tell that it's not, because it has both of these like blue areas coming in on the corner. But the thinking of you, for sure, will be that Eclipse thing. After I do that, then I've got to put the centers in. It's not a very obvious like pattern. Okay. Then we'll get this right on top. Okay. And then getting those little pieces on the inside, I think, are going to be a little bit tricky, but we'll figure it out. I probably should have done just like one layer of the regular white cardstock words cut and then put the centers in, but whatever. Okay. Let's figure out what's going where first. I think that's right there. Yeah. That down there. Oh, that's not so bad. That lines up pretty well. Actually, is it like that? I think it's like that. They puzzle piece in really easily. With just a little bit of glue. Okay, not bad. I feel like I need to have that paper wait on there for just a moment. We're almost done. So here is the finished card for today. I love how that turned out. Kind of spur of the moment crafting. Didn't really have much of a plan, but I love how that turned out. That's so neat. And the fun foam really did make stacking it very easy. I think it turned out great. So just a reminder that you can register for the Celebrate class over at onlinecardclasses.com. Registration is open now. In fact, there's early bird pricing through this Friday on April 25th. So if you want to save a few dollars off your class registration, you'll want to check that out. Yeah, that's it for tonight. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you in another video very soon.